The Garbage Collector is a smob that allows you to force garbage collection throughout your game. I highly recommend not using this smob unless you fully understand what garbage collection is and how it works. Under the User Prefs is a Hover Me option. If you hover your cursor over the words Hover Me, you'll see some important information, part of which is what I already mentioned about garbage collection. The next option is the Repeat Interval, which determines how often you want the smob to force garbage collection. The default is 30, which means it will force garbage collection every 30 frames. Auto Repeat On determines whether or not the garbage collection begins repeating at the start of the game. Let's go ahead and expand the receivable messages. There are 3 commands we can give this smob. We can tell it to collect once, we can tell it to start repeating, or we can tell it to stop repeating. Let me give you a demonstration. Garbage collection is something that happens behind the scenes, so you won't actually be able to see anything. However, I can show you how to set it up. Let's imagine that we are about to go into a dungeon, and we want to force a single garbage collection to occur as we teleport into the dungeon. Let's drop a teleporter into our game. You can find them in the Platforms folder. I'll drop one into my scene and move it away from my player. Let's use GPS point as the destination. You can find the GPS point in the Utilities folder. Once I find the GPS point, I'll drag it into my scene and then position it so that it's at the beginning of our make-believe dungeon. I'll just move it far from our player. Now we need to assign the GPS point as our teleport destination. I'll do that by selecting the teleporter, then dragging the GPS point to the Master Destination field. Let's check our garbage collector settings. Since we're only performing a single garbage collection, it doesn't matter what the repeat interval is, but I do want to make sure the auto repeat option is turned off so that it doesn't start repeating at the start of the game. We're now ready to make our connection. I'll select the teleporter and expand the teleported event. Then I'll drag in the garbage collector and tell it to collect once. We can test it out, but as I said before, there's nothing to see since it's something that goes on in the background. Just know that whenever someone uses our teleporter, a single garbage collection will take place.